Hi everybody, we've got our special Mother's Day version of our cooking show today. My daughter Danielle is with me and I've got Alex here. Rosie's in the playroom playing with what is the Frozen toys, and so we're probably not going to see her in this kitchen. It was a toss-up between who was going to take, James or Tim, but Tim's got the camera in his hand because James is making faces at us so that we'll do something silly and say something silly. So here we go. We're making a super uber fun. Oh, there's Rosie. Hi, Rose. Here we all are, our little family. You can, James is there doing his thing, of course. Come on over and at least acknowledge you.
I'm her grandson.
You are. Okay, so what we're doing is Danielle found out that there were lobsters in town, and so that's what we're doing. And I know a lot of people have an issue with putting a lobster in a pot or trying to cook it, that there's a nervousness about it. So we're going to defunk any of your nervousness today, and we're going to show you what quick little meal we've got, and it's super gourmet. Danielle has prepared. Go ahead.
It's just shake and bake chicken, so I bought some boneless, skinless chickens. They were huge, and I cut them down a little bit, and we're just gonna bake them according to the directions on the box, which is 400 degrees, and it's 20 minutes for boneless chicken. We're probably gonna go 30 because the pieces are a little thick. But we also have, corn on the cob, so we'll show you how to make corn on the cob. These are two of Mom's favorite things, corn on the cob and lobster, so it's only fitting. We have 4 lobsters that we're gonna boil. The water's been boiling for like 20 minutes.
Well, we put more water in.
It's been on, but it took about 20 minutes to boil. So
it's set.
But it's that doesn't look like a
so
lot of water.
Cup. What we're doing is we're doing it a little bit different. So I'm gonna do this. Tim and I have been doing it this way for the past few years because we found out it comes out better. If we actually cook it in the water as boiling, sometimes the meat comes out dry. Remember, Danielle, every now and then you pull a piece out, it's a drier piece. So now we're steaming, and as you can see, if you look inside that pot, what I'm using is my canning mechanism. This is my canning pot, and if anybody's canned, they'll recognize the water bath pot.
I have the thing upside down.
I've inverted that on purpose because we're going to steam our lobsters. We don't want them sitting in the water. So if you can see, if you're a canner, you can see that I've inverted this.
The little canning
thing is normally the other way around, so jars can sit in each one of those slots.
And then you have the handles on the side to pick it up after.
Exactly. So we don't want to do that with lobsters. We just want to keep them out of the actual boiling water, and we want to steam them. We've had much more success with steam. So now we're going to go ahead, and since it's definitely on steam, now the best way to do, here I'll do the first one I guess.
I'm not very good at
The best way to do a lobster is pick it up here. Where are you, love? Pick it up here. We'll come back here. We'll watch them. Sometimes it's a little daunting. You're looking.
So when you buy a lobster, if you're not going to cook it right away, put it in the fridge and leave the bag a little open so they have air. Do not put it in water. That's not good. And don't leave the bag closed because then you'll suffocate them. They're alive. It's really not that hard to cook a lobster.
Nope.
Really, it's just people freak out because they're alive and they don't jump out of the pot afterwards. You put them in there and they're in there. But if you're really freaked out about it, put them in the pot and hold the lid down for a minute. It'll be fine.
Danielle's really told you an interesting and important thing. She's right. Do not, hold on for a second. Please don't do that right now.
No.
Do not put them in water in the sink. I did that a couple years ago, and Tim and I were having our first lobsters, and we realized that it kills them because
they're saltwater animals. So.
Right. But you can. We bought them before. We weren't going to have a dinner. We bought them on sale one night, but we weren't going to be able to have the dinner till the next night. We have put them in the refrigerator in the back, in the coldest part, and left them there for 24 hours because you can leave them for 24 hours, and they were just as alive as could be the next day.
I mean, it's recommended you cook them the same day you buy them, but if you have to store them at all, you put them in the fridge.
It is totally recommended. So she's right. Okay, so this is how, if you are looking at a whole thing full of them, sometimes it can be a little daunting. So go over here, and you can see they make sure when they give you lobsters, they've got the claws closed, so they're not going to hurt you. And sometimes they'll pull out one that's missing, and don't.
The rubber bands, I think the different colors give the store people, it sort of gives them a hint of how much they weigh, so they know which ones to pull out of the pot. The colors don't really mean anything as far as that. It's just like their weight. So like they're a different color if they're bigger. These are like a little under 2 pounds. They're like a pound and a half, pound and 3/4.
So you go right into the back, right here. Just go right here. Are you coming over and looking inside the thing? So you're looking in the middle of this mess, and you go, okay, I'm just going to quickly pick one up. I pick it up in the middle of the back, right here. You can see he has no access to me, and his claws are covered, so he is no threat whatsoever. These could close, except that they really don't. And you can see I'm playing with it. So immediately go over here. Where's my cover? And just, I go head first into the pot like this, and I put a cover on to give them a little, I just always have put a little cover on. So I'm going to come back to the next one. And you can see this one's a little bit more energetic. He's like, what the
The
who?
more lively, the better.
Yes.
If they die, they are not good anymore.
Did you hear what Danielle said?
If they die, they aren't good anymore.
You see, the more lively, the better. If they've died, you can cook them within the first hour or two of death.
But still, it doesn't taste as good.
It doesn't taste as good, and it's not recommended to do anything after more than an hour or two of death. Yep, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Danielle, you want to put that last one in?
No, I do not.
Yeah, she's never been excited to put them in the pot.
You want to do it?
Alex wants
The
to do it.
steam, though. I'm worried about the steam. Okay, we'll give it a try.
And you got this.
Go, Alex!
Just
put it
place
in.
it head first.
There you go. Good
There
job.
you go. Nice job, Alex. I never thought I'd see that.
Yay.
And now you can see they're all resting, and we don't have them in the water itself because we're going to do the steaming. You don't start your counting of time until it actually starts to reboil again. Your time starts on that. Now I got years ago a really cool thing called how
Well,
to
don't stop boiling if they're not in the water.
Yeah, true. How to prepare lobster. I got this years ago from an auntie. Actually, I think it's Aunt Rita. She's been gone now since 1994. My dad's sister Rita. But anyways, in we're going to do that one next.
I was just checking.
In a lot of her, she had a lot of recipes and a lot of paperwork and stuff, and she gave me this one. And inside there is great directions on boiling lobster. But if you ever want any kind of recipes, guys, reach out, because in here there's also Maine lobster stew, Maine lobster salad. They got this on a trip to Maine, by the way, so that's why you're getting the Maine lobster.
One of your best leftover lobster things is a lobster roll,
lobster roll.
or like a seafood chowder.
Which I'm gonna do seafood chowder. That's next. Maine lobster roll is right here. Broiled live Maine lobster, baked Maine lobster, baked lobster deluxe, which I haven't tried that. A Maine lobster casserole, a tangy lobster, a lobster cocktail. There's croquettes, and then there's the different classifications of lobsters, and how to cook them. So if anybody ever is looking for a recipe and you can't think of it, just reach out to me. I probably have what you need. So the third thing on our menu.
Start
Yes.
timer yet?
Nope, because it really isn't boiling that much just yet, because just the body itself made it go down.
You can, if you are, you can also stab the lobster in the back of the neck with a really sharp knife. That'll just kill them right away. If you're worried about them suffering in the pot.
Did you hear what she just said?
If you, I mean, that's what chefs recommend you do, is you take a really sharp knife and you just stab them right behind the, like in the top area behind their, not right behind their eyes, but like a little bit far back where their arms are. Just
Danielle spent the last couple of years working at the Old Foundry. Yep, there's two names for it. Old Foundry.
The Old Foundry at One Federal. Previously One Federal.
And so she's learned a lot of really cool cooking tips from there too. And her palate has changed because she was kind of a pickier child and even a pickier adult going on, earlier in adulthood. And now her palate is completely changed just by that cooking. It's amazing stuff. So hold on, honey boo. The third thing on our recipe list, and it's almost boiling, so I'm not quite ready. Yep, they got corn on the cob from Price Choppers. The reason why this looks funny is because what I've done is I have added milk
And butter.
and not butter, milk
Oh.
and sugar. I threw a handful of sugar in there and some milk.
Oh, I put butter in mine.
That's a good idea. I should do that. Let's see. Great minds think alike. Danielle uses milk and butter. I use milk and a handful of sugar. I'm going to use milk and butter next time, but I've already put the sugar in here, so I probably don't want to do both.
I mean, it'll be buttery anyway after.
Yeah, because we're going to throw tons of butter. So this is almost on the boil. As soon as it's done, we are going to put this on to when you put the corn in and it reaches its boil again. This boils for 15 minutes or until fork's ready. This one will steam for, and it isn't, you can see it's not boiling right now because the body temperature itself stopped it from boiling just a little bit. This will steam or boil for 18 to 20 minutes. So our chicken's coming out like 20 to a half an hour. So these should all be coming out about the same time. And on the back, we're just doing a really quick pasta side because, this is Rosie's favorite.
Because it's the kids.
And yep, this is the kids
They're
and
not
this is
much
Rosie's
lobster
favorite.
fans, which is why we had to cook a little bit of chicken, because the kids, I mean, I think Rosie's tried it before, but they're a little apprehensive to try it. But
I mean, we can do, if you like, a side video showing you how to crack them open, because some people do have one of us can video the other one cracking it open. They'd have to be videos side by side because we really haven't mastered the whole start and stop thing yet. And we learned from Jennifer Gagne something about how she used a program. We'll have to go back and discover that. But I guess we could video somebody cracking them open. But that's really all there is to it. It's just get it in the water, steam it, or boil it if you still want to boil it, 18 to 20 minutes.
Lazy lobster.
A lazy lobster. And this corn is 15 minutes pat. It's always 15 minutes. And the chicken and shake and bacon, look how wonderful that looks already.
If you're peeking,
Again,
late cooking.
the shake and bake was super easy. It's something you buy at the store, and they have directions right on there.
So happy Mother's Day. Yeah, the other one I love to buy is oven fry, and it's for crispy. It's called oven. So the two favorites
they
are
have
shake
an
and bake.
oven crispy one, and they have a barbecue one actually that's really good.
The shake and bakes do. But then there's also a brand called Oven Fry, extra crispy. And I thought for the longest time it was a shake and bake knockoff, but it isn't. It's another. I mean, it is. It's not a shake and bake. I thought it was another shake and bake product, but it is a knockoff of it. But it's super, super good. It's called Oven Fry.
But shake and bake is breadcrumbs with seasoning, really. So it's just, if you don't have actual shake and bake, you just put your chicken on like 400 degrees and cook it for half an hour.
And
you have to
bone
make
in.
sure to get your
Bone in is
a little
45
longer.
minutes.
You have to make sure to moisten your chicken. You could use milk if you wanted it a little more.
I tend to use milk and egg. I dredge it through egg and milk, and then I put it with the chicken. But
The
she's
directions say water, but you could do milk if you wanted to, because it's your business.
And she's absolutely correct. Any kind of breadcrumbs. If I don't have any shake and bake around, I use the Italian kind because it's already seasoned. But if you just have the plain ones, go grab your.
Bottom of the toaster.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Toaster crunch. Go over and start. Go over here. Okay. I don't have them seasoned. So here's your garlic powder, Italian seasoning, parsley. All your stuff that you've been watching us cook when we do anything Italian like spaghetti sauce. Just grab all those and just put them in there and season it up yourself. And then she used a bag to shake them so they evenly coated instead of trying to roll them over in a plate or a bowl because they don't seem to get coated so well in a plate.
It would be the same. It comes with it. That's why it's called shake and bake. It comes in the bag. But you can, I like to use a pie plate because the edges are a little higher. It's a little deeper, so I can roll it around a little easier. But
I tend to.
Again, you figure out whatever works for you.
And if you get one that doesn't have the bag, like oven fry sometimes doesn't come with the bag, I just use a Ziploc bag. So there's so many ways to do the exact same thing, and if you don't have that shake and bake on your counter, you can still create it with everything you have. So happy Mother's Day! Come on over, little one. Happy Mother's Day! Thank you very much for joining us in our kitchen. I guess we could video opening a lobster just in case, and if people want it, we can post it. Or not, we'll see.
Maybe we'll even make it past my plate.
Happy Mother's Day, love. Thank you
Rosie?
for watching us all the time. Bye.